Public Radio website will get you access to private videos, stuff that we were considering using for the Patreon. We're going to go ahead and just put them on there. You get access to Chris's OnlyFans. That's going to be pretty tremendous, I think. Topher's OnlyFans is going to be great. It'll also get you access to the live shows just for GPR, so it'll be Sunday Night Madness, GPR, and then when me and T start doing our reaction videos, those will be on there as well. So you guys will have a lot of great content for the subscription fee.
And not only that, like...
I was going to get to the. I was going to get to the cons. I was getting.
Well, no, not talking about time. I'm like about twice a week. We're going to have go back to the old school MTV days of actually
doing DJ music. Yep.
Being able to sit here and have like music.
It's music video.
Yeah, but we'll be able to
too much Russian.
Just music.
We have like music videos and news and
I met a pretty kick-ass Ukrainian. Speaking of the Russian connection there, I met a pretty kick-ass Ukrainian. He and I had a great conversation about how Ukraine's better than Russia. He was really excited because I pegged his accent, right? And I said, that accent, I said, you're not from Russia. I said, are you from Ukraine? And he goes, how do you know that? I said, it's more Eastern European and less Asian. And he started laughing.
Less Slavic.
Yeah, you want to make a Russian mad, you call them Asian. They get really irritated. Yeah. I love it. It makes me happy.
Not the Siberians.
I don't think they care. I think they're just like, meh. Meh. Remember, Alaska's only 5 miles away from being part of Russia or part of Asia. Okay, so anyways, yeah, I digress. So yeah, on top of that, the website will also feature us when we go live at cons. So when we actually do our con coverage and things like that, we'll be able to stream that live on the website. You guys will be able to enjoy virtual cons using this service as well. So it's going to be really
live.
Fun.
That's the key.
All live stuff.
You'll see it live.
Yes. So
rather than waiting for everybody else, like after the convention's over, and then being able to see the footage, you will actually be able to be there and be a part of our Discord.
Yeah.
And talk with our members only section.
You get access to a lot of really cool stuff. It's definitely going to be worth the investment. We don't quite have the final price point yet, but it's not going to be anything crazy. It's not going to be like $20 or $30 a month. We're probably figuring $5, but I mean, let us know. There's a comment section. Let us know what you guys think in the video. Tell us what you think would be a fair price. Like I said, you're going to be getting a crap load of content, and that'd be kind of a fun little poll to take. Like, how much would you be willing to pay to watch me, T, and Topher do hilariously stupid crap?
Ask that question?
Well, I have this idea about
well, they were going to give me $1,000. Mouse traps?
Yeah. I mean,
okay. You could put those all over you. That's fine.
To watch,
no, I'm talking about for you.
T and Topher talk about conspiracies. Then people might
I didn't do it in time, but it's there.
But people might want to chuck out $5 for that, you know.
There you go. So we think $5 is reasonably fair, but you guys are the judge. You guys are ultimately the consumer, so it's what you're willing to pay for the product is usually what we're going to charge for it. So, but I think that's a pretty fair price considering the amount of content that you guys are going to get. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you guys think about that. Yeah. Okay. So, anything else I didn't cover as far as the website, Chris? I think we're good.
No, I think we're good. Right. T, can you go ahead and talk for me real quick?
I can go ahead and talk for you real quick. Come on, everybody, would you do that? Oh.
I just wanted to make sure that you sound good.
Speaking of money, though, since you were talking about money, has anyone noticed that millennials, and just stupid people are writing dollar amounts, but
they're putting the freaking dollar sign after the
the number, and it is making me. It made me so mad that I have not been on Facebook for like 2 weeks.
Like this is a true story. She hasn't posted anything.
I think she posted something today.
She just shared something.
I have not, because I've just been livid about it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. At this point, I feel like it's a troll. I feel like people are literally just doing it to troll. But yeah, there was an entire section of it in which people were putting the dollar sign after the number amount,
They're
and I don't
still doing it. and what really
Why?
got my neck
Because that's
in
the
a
way you
twist-
say it. It's like $20. So that's how they're writing
It's
it.
wrong.
20 with
It's
the
wrong.
dollar.
It's wrong. Yeah.
It's wrong.
It's
No,
wrong.
I-
Foot down.
Yes.
Foot down. Hand in
But
the dirt.
I feel like, the fact that no one's been in school for this whole entire year, that maybe that's affected their brains or whatnot. I have no idea what it is. Can somebody please explain to me
Because
why
of China.
people... It could be. But the worst part about it was I was watching a video on... It was the 10 highest IQs in the world. And at some point in this video, towards the end, they put up a dollar amount in reference to one of the geniuses' paydays. And they put the dollar sign after. And it was talking about genius. And I was done. I was done with all social media. I threw my phone. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. I was like, no more.
I saw this.
Anymore.
You talked about geniuses. I saw this hilarious TikTok where this woman was talking about all of her credentials. Right, she was given an accounting of the credentials that she had to make her argument. And she's like, I have 2 medical degrees and I have an IQ of 181. So I think I know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. It was stitched together with another video, and this girl gets on. She goes, "Hold up." She's like, "This is actually really easy to disprove. You have 2 medical degrees. Okay, I could maybe buy that. But the fact that you said you have an IQ of 181, that's where I start to get a little suspicious, because here on Google, I have this handy-dandy list of the people with the top 10 highest IQs in the world, and you're not on it." So if you were really... She's like, "Did you get the 181 IQ on one of those Facebook IQ tests? Because those aren't real." I'm going to guess if you thought that was real, then you probably don't have real degrees.
It was like, I have 2 medical degrees. Well, medical transcription and...
You have a prescription pad and a pencil. Don't sit there. No.
She could have an MA and a CNA.
Right.
Certificates.
Like, I'm a podiatrist. I think I know about heart surgery. I think you know a little bit about the heart. I'll give you that.
No, just no.
I love it.
and have you
It's
seen-
honest to God, it's the perfect example of education does not equate intelligence. Just so you
not
guys
at
are
all.
aware of that out there.
Not at all. And does she even know who has a 181 IQ?
Like, not Einstein. Because Einstein
No,
was...
Einstein's 168
Yeah.
or something like
Right.
that.
Right.
And then I think, what is it? Oh, God, I can't even think of
And
his
Einstein
stinking
thought
name.
that Nikola Tesla was the smartest person in the world.
Which is arguable. So he never was really tested for it, so it's arguable that
And
he
it
was.
is.
He was
It
a
is. I mean,
genius.
absolutely. Don't get me started about Nikola Tesla. My heart just pulls out for
Stephen
that.
Hawking is widely considered to be one of the smartest people that ever lived. I think Isaac Newton was considered to have an IQ of like 175 or 176. So, and the other thing about that is too, there's a thing called genius grants where you can actually, if you can prove that you have an IQ of a certain amount of money, the government will literally just give you a grant. You don't have to pay it back. They can be like, "Here, take this money, do whatever you want with it. You're smart." They pay you to be smart. So people are like, "Oh, I have an IQ of 160." No, you don't. You're a liar. Shut up.
But Sean Connery told you.
I have an IQ of 160.
No, actually,
169 when your mom's around.
Well, Stephen Hawking actually had an IQ of 160.
Was it 160? Okay.
It was 160. Albert Einstein roughly had about the same, but they said that his was in between 160 and 190.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, here's the funny thing about IQ.
So they don't know things.
Here's the funny...
So the people who are like marking down whose IQ is what, they don't know. So that's pretty smart.
And they're also saying that Leonardo
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
Leo!
Da Vinci. They're trying to say that he had an IQ of about 190.
Which,
I mean, it could.
comparatively, I mean, the just his notebooks and stuff. Not the stupid Tom Hanks movie either. The actual Da Vinci notebooks. Some of the stuff that they had in there. I mean, he built a tank. For crying out loud, he had the plans to build a tank
a tank,
Back in the 1300s,
helicopters, airplanes.
I can't remember what
Like-
1400s, 1300, what 1600s. I think it was 1600s. Now I'm thinking about it.
I'm not,
No,
I'm not
I was
sure.
right. I think 1200s.
I don't have my.
I know. I need to. It's
Yeah.
Google. It's a Google search away, and I don't
Right.
even remember the time frame.
I don't know the time frame.
But anyways, really early designs for tanks and planes and helicopters and just insanity. Stuff that he had no business knowing about because he's just like, you know what? I wonder if I can fly. I'm going to jump out of this window. Well, nope. That didn't work. We try again.
I believe I can.
They had let's see, there's a Kim
I can fly!
there's Kim Ung Young who has an IQ of 210.
Oh, is that was that from China? Is she from China?
No, he's from Korea.
Oh, Korea. Was it North or South Korea?
He's the North. I think he's
I think it's North.
He's the Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, he like could speak English, Spanish, German at like 6 months old.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But it came from North Korea, so I don't believe it. That's dope. I feel like that number was inflated.
And the thing about this guy is like he wanted to work for NASA. He ended up working for NASA, was super unhappy with his life at NASA, quit, went back home to Korea and became a teacher.
Yeah.
So he's like super happy. Like
The amount of geniuses that drop out of school and do nothing with their life is astonishing.
yeah, because they're bored. Like no one can match right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot of I'm not anywhere near the scale that these gentlemen and ladies are. Not even a little bit. But I have that issue where I look around and I'm like, there's 0 point to this. So every day is exactly the same. It's accomplishing very little.
And that's why I do this.
Right. It provides a service. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand the necessity of the service. I understand the creation of the service. I understand all of that.
No, I'm just saying like, I get bored, so that's why we do this.
Yes, it's a creative outlet, and I'm totally okay with that. And to have like rational and human discussions about things, as opposed to, overly charged sensationalism, which you and I were talking about earlier. Just absolutely out of control, stupid. Like, this is a fun conversation. We talk about geniuses, right? What do geniuses do? Well, they become teachers because those that can't do teach.
Voila.
When you're talking about the genius grants or whatever. It's like, oh, here, become a mad scientist.
Yeah, I mean, basically. But if you could get a couple of them together, I think at the grant it's like $250,000 or something. It's not a small amount of money.
And for that, you can buy an island.
I mean, really.
You absolutely could.
So you've already got your Fortress of Solitude or your League of Super Evil.
Well, it depends on where you want to go. Because if you wanted to buy an island, I've looked into this. Don't ask me why.
I already know why.
If you want to go into where it's warm,
Because you're a hobo.
they're mostly they're a little bit more expensive. But if you don't mind it being cold, Canadian islands are ridiculously cheap. You can buy an entire island for $35,000.
Oh, I would absolutely do that.
I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't do that. I've seen what the Great Lakes do, and I am very intimately familiar with the winters in the frozen north. And,
In the
I have
frozen
absolutely no desire to live on the other side of the wall. None.
Up in the frozen north.
Oh, you been to frozen north, eh? I don't understand what all the fuss is about. The boot.
Leave the northern folk alone.
We still
love
miss
them.
you, Giselle. We miss you so
Oh my
much.
god, we do. I don't see any of her stuff anymore.
That's my fault. It's okay.
Okay, well, he doesn't because he's a genius. That's okay.
So okay there, bud. Let's
Okay, buddy. Let's get back onto the show, eh?
So a number two, second top 10. And this is someone else's list. I'm not sure. This isn't like I don't think it's like some nationally like.
It's an Asian list. Come
But-
from China.
Well, it's Terrence Tao of Hong Kong.
Oh, what I say? What I say?
He is from Hong Kong, but his family migrated to Australia.
So the top two are North Korea and Hong Kong. Okay, that doesn't sound suspicious at all.
He has an IQ of 225 to 230. And he is
So he can see the future.
pretty much.
Okay, that's neat.
Well, he's a mathematics teacher
Ah.
at the, in LA. At California University. And they are trying to say that the number one genius. Now, what I'm a little bit upset with is Nikola Tesla is not on this list at all.
I don't think he was ever tested.
I don't think so, but I mean,
I think he dropped out. If I'm not mistaken, I think he dropped out of school when he was like really young.
I got you, Nikolai. I got you.
Much
Anyway.
love, bro.
But
Screw you, Edison.
they are trying to say that the smartest person in the world was William James Sidis with an IQ of 250 to 300.
Did he just sit around all day and stare at the wall?
I don't know, but what I'm
I
finding
couldn't
is,
even imagine being exponentially smarter than some of the smartest people in the world.
well, just most of these people are chess players too. Like,
Oh, so he was just like, I
But I
can
don't-
beat you with one move.
I don't, you know,
And
what?
only using my pinky toe. Because that's the only way he gets a challenge out of chess.
Well, this guy, he was born in 1898, and he began to learn math at Harvard University when he was 11, and became the youngest person who registered in the most reputed University of America.
Oh, look at him go.
But this list, I believe, is severely inaccurate.
I'm going to guess. I'm just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but regardless, that lady's name still didn't appear on that list.
No,
It's a totally
did
separate
not.
list than the
It
one
did
I saw.
not.
Her name was not on there. So
There you go.
There
You
you
have
go,
proof.
genius
You
lady.
have
You
proof.
are a liar. You're a liar and a fat mouth.
Liar.
You got both your degrees and your IQ test online. Proud of you. Although getting an online degree, I can't really talk too much shit.
I mean, that's the norm now. It's going to be the norm, just like masks are going to be the norm for a very long time.
Yeah, but we're all in blue now.
That's right. We're all getting
blue.
vaccinated.
Because
Just in time.
That's right.
See, he agrees.
yeah, that's
We're not allowed to talk about it. Like, I wish we could, because there's a lot of stuff that
But
I'm
we're
sure
not.
you could say.
We're not.
Working in the health field.
Yeah,
I could talk
But we're
about
not.
working in the service field, and he could talk about high risk.
but I don't even want to talk about it. But
Right.
I
Because you talk about it all day at work.
and I simply cannot talk about it.
I'm on team burn it down. I'm on team burn it all down.
I'm on Team Thanos. The snap heard around the world.
But I'm just going to let y'all know right now, if she had the Infinity Gauntlet, it would be like this. Yeah,
So,
all the snaps.
So great. It would look like a disco there for a second. It was like, "Do, do, do."
Right. The epilepsy warning, like, do not stare at the gauntlet.
People go, I don't feel so. Oh no, I'm fine. Oh wait.
Although,
I don't know.
I feel like that battle with Thor would have gone a lot differently.
I would probably like localize its power because I want to go up to you. And I
look-
want you
and look
to
you
know
in the
and
eye.
look you in the eye and snap you. That's what I want to do. that is
see,
my goal. Like I
Now everybody's like, oh, look, why aren't there any great women supervillains? I'll be like, because of that. Because they'd be like, world domination, but first I'm going to get that bitch Becky from 5th grade. I'll be back. I'll be right back. She said, Becky, you nappy headed bitch, come here. Come here, Becky.
actually
Now what?
Actually, it was Sarah and it was Kinder and she drank my chocolate milk and
That's
I
what-
choked that bitch.
There it is, right there.
That's who I would go for first.
How about all the chocolate milk?
my chocolate milk? I can't even drink milk now. That like ruined me for life. Like I cannot even drink chocolate milk. Like I cannot. Like I did the right thing. I remember my aunt took me to school with her.
I choked her.
Took
And
me
then
to school
5
with her.
sentences later, I did the right thing.
I mean, she took me to school with her,
Y'all
and
have
then
your
like
answer.
for
Right
me
there it
to
is.
keep quiet, she was actually babysitting me, And they had like this little playroom for kids. You could throw your kids in there. And it was just me, and there was just one other little girl who looked like she just stepped out from The Shining, and was standing there, and she's trying to talk to me, but I'm trying to do the right thing and wash my bloody hands. Well, they weren't actually bloody. I'm just, So
Give him a minute.
I turn around to wash my hands, and I look at the table. My chocolate milk is open, and my donut has a big bite in it. I'm having like serious flashbacks.
She's
like,
having
right
PTSD
now. Like
triggers right now. This
PTSD
is
trick.
happening.
Like for real.
This
like
is trauma.
it was. It really
This is
was.
what true trauma looks
It really
like.
was. Like I looked over, I saw it, and I just went straight for her throat.
I see. I don't
And
even
it was
blame
done.
you. I'm a grown man, and if you take a bite out of my donut and drink my chocolate
For real.
milk,
And it was from
it's
like the
very
best
likely that
donut
I will
place in the
choke you to
world.
death.
And it was from the best donut place in the world.
What was it? Was it Jack's Donuts?
No, it's not here.
Was
I'm
it
not
Roslyn
from-
Bakery?
I'm not from here. I just know that place was the best place
best
to get
place?
donuts.
It's Quack Daddy's.
And that's
Quack
how-
Daddy's good place too.
Like I'm
God,
not,
their
you
donuts
know,
are
I'm
so
not. I'm not from here. I actually tried Quack Daddies though, like about a month ago, and they were really delicious. They were anyway.
They're a different kind of donut altogether. Like if you're expecting like the ring glazed, you culture yourself. Culture yourself.
With cereal.
Oh my god, they're so good. I was like, I can have a Fruity Pebble donut. Yes, please.
Yeah.
No, you can
You
put
have
cookies
fun
on
with
there
that.
too. What? I can have cookies and a donut? I was 5 years
Yeah.
old when I walked in that shop, and I just looked at the menu like,
Yeah, those donuts are everything.
$30
Did I just
for a
kick the
12
camera?
pack. But, you know,
No, you're good.
Okay.
it's so good. Like, their donuts are really delicious. Like, they're
I'll
just
just
unique.
take your word for it.
Oh, that's right. Chris can't have donuts because he's a freaking communist.
No. This is Geek Public Radio. You know, the platform is Geek Public Radio because I am the quintessential geek. I'm allergic to half the planet.
That's an accurate statement. Holy shit!
So
hey,
sad.
see now that's what you could do with the Thanos gauntlet. Just be like,
Snap out the half
half
that
the
I'm allergic
planet.
to.
But you know what? There might be hope for you yet.
Uh-oh.
I know it.
They have a
There was
vaccine
something
for
about it.
nerdiness. It's called
know-
vagina.
What? What?
We were going with the tropes, so I went with the tropes. Nerds don't get laid. That's the cure for nerdiness. It's the vaccine. Or the vagine? That's why they say that.
You yourself there killing yourself.
I can't breathe. Please send bums in vagine.
Oh God,
I need it.
that seems hot.
It's not. I smoke.
It's
I'm not trying to kill tea.
It's not the Rona.
Oh, sweet mercy. It's not the COVID.
Stop. Anyway,
So
Yes.
half the show is you laughing at the moment.
I'm sorry, vagina, because it's a vagina vaccine. It's really funny.
okay. So anyway, yes, there might be hope for you. Yes, there is no hope for him, but there is hope for you.
Well, my allergist said that I could do shots, but it's like one shot a week for the
no,
next
no.
6 months.
Wait, your doctor prescribed shots?
Yeah.
That's the best doctor ever.
Right, but I'm allergic to
She also told you should do cocaine? You have ghosts in your blood.
Said that no, there's a place that is highly guarded, and it is a poop donation facility, and it is
Why
one of
why
the,
would you guard a
Listen,
poop donation
listen.
facility?
people.
That's a shitty job. Go ahead.
So people with perfect poop donate to this laboratory. So, what they actually do is they reintroduce, they take whatever enzymes, whatnot, they reintroduce it to people who are allergic to everything, to their systems, to their stomach, and it resets to reset their whole entire system. and you like
I'm not sure
to become brand new,
So
basically
so they get a reboot.
a reboot,
So what you're saying
So
is,
it's a
a repoop,
reboot.
a repoop.
so what you're saying is they take a turd, and they
No,
shove
they
it
don't- they
back
don't-
in
no.
there.
No,
I saw that
Anyway.
joke coming too.
wow, yeah.
No, it's like they reintroduce it.
Thinking, I mean, chemically they do, and they said that this place is like. They said that this place is more heavily guarded than Fort Knox.
They have an entire team called the Knuckle Busters. They just get it back in there. What are you calling your
No.
insertion team? The Knuckle Busters.
You don't go to the facility to donate it. You send it in.
Oh, so I get
No one is allowed in this place.
So I get to. Are you telling me that there is a place that will pay me to poop and then mail it?
But you have to have perfect poop.
Well, I don't care. I get to mail my poop. Like, you know, you're missing the whole point. This is
Your poop has to be perfect.
my poop
no-
is not perfect. You know what the problem? There's something that I've noticed with society. You know, people that have diarrhea of the mouth have an issue standing in solidarity. Sorry, go ahead. Thanks for joining us on Sunday Night Madness.
Oh my god.
Oh, come on. That was like a solid number 2. That was
This is gonna go on forever.
No, it's the last shitty joke I have. I'm all out, unfortunately. I need to have it reintroduced. Okay. Anyway, so we actually have show topics that are not poop related. But according to T, if you happen to be in a particular place in Minnesota, you would have had the poop scared right out of you, which we have now learned that you could subsequently mail, and if it's perfect, you get paid for it. So that's always something cool, too. So we're going to tell you stories to scare the crap out of you, and then you could prepackage that poop and make some money. So we're helping you. That's right. You're welcome, Internet. We're the best. T, tell us all about the crazy nonsense from Minnesota. What happened?
Apparently, I cannot hear myself, so I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I can hear you,
Apparently,
but I'm also right next to you.
there was a guy and his family shopping at a Walmart in Shakopee, Minnesota, and
Spell that.
Shakopee.
So it's a Shakopee. Like we just got off the body jokes. Really? And then
it's
it's
Shakopee.
Shakopee. Okay.
Shakopee,
You know what? No, at this point,
Minnesota.
no. People are just walking into it.
Whatever. Steps outside, looks up, and there is a ring of lights in the sky, and just chilling over the parking lot. Walmart.
So I saw this video,
Yeah, other people
And-
saw it.
and it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But now that I'm kind of looking at the circle of lights that we have right here, I'm just wondering if the aliens aren't setting up an interdimensional video and they're just trying to get the lighting just
Making
right.
Selfies. the,
It's the satellites.
the arrow influencers. I don't know.
That's right. Maybe it's the poop facility. Maybe they were coming to collect a sample.
So, and of
Sorry,
course,
go
you
ahead.
know, of course, like loads of people are responding with, "Oh, those are the lights from the casino. Those are the lights from," and it's not. It's over the parking lot.
Those were
Oh,
not
wow.
lights. Like I could consider the I'm the skeptic. If you guys haven't figured this out, I could consider the video being fake, but those were definitely not lights from the casino. That
Those
is
are not
no,
lights from the casino, nor were they searchlights for anywhere
no,
at
not even a
all.
little bit. Here, I'll
And
pull it back. Here we
it's
God Almighty.
they've also been popping up in other places just as large. Like, I mean, these things. How far off the ground would you say that was? You get a good.
If I were to guess, I would say it was roughly 50 to 100 feet, but I would say probably closer to 75, 100. It's at least 100 feet in the air.
It's really low. like
Yeah.
above the lowest cloud shelf, like
Yes, like
right above.
right about where the fog lifts in the morning, like as high up as the fog goes, where you can actually see it moving, like the top of the trees and stuff. That's about where it was.
And so and it's been seen in a few other places, the same exact way, just as low. There have been quite a few UFO sightings in LA.
Oh, they're not called UFOs anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry, UAPs.
That's right.
Meh.
Unidentified aerial phenomena. Phenomena.
Anyway,
Aerial.
so there were actually several sightings that while I was there.
Oh, in Minnesota?
No, in LA.
Oh, in LA.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
So
remember you being in
more are popping
Chicopee.
up. More are popping up. No, not Chicopee.
Shakopee.
There are lovely names of places in Minnesota, though.
There are lovely names of places in general
Everywhere.
everywhere. So,
No, go ahead.
oh no, that's fine.
Forgive me, I am sweating because I am hot.
So, the primary issue that I have with UFOs is or UAPs rather, the common denominator seems to be that nobody knows what they are, where they've come from, and things like that, and they usually just descend and occupy a section of space that people can visibly see, and then they usually disappear just as quickly. And the issue that I have with UAPs in general is there's no origin point. There doesn't seem to be any way that people track these. It always seems to be when the object is stationary is when people start recording. So a lot of times, like when you hear me say that I'm a skeptic, it's not because I don't believe that there is extraterrestrial life, because I do believe that. I'm not arrogant enough to think that human beings are the smartest creation of all time and that nothing will ever top the superiority of man. I cannot for a minute even believe that that's true. I think it's just rather arrogant. But the issue, the thing that I hate about it is there are so many people out there, so many charlatans that will attempt to take advantage of people who want to believe. And not to borrow the colloquialism and the funny line from, I can't think of words, X-Files, Sweet Mercy. It's like, I want to believe that these things are real, but then I look at the evidence that strongly points to the opposite being the truth.
It's easy for you to say.
What, colloquialism? Which part was easy? None of that was easy. That was, I extricated that from the recesses of my mind to put forth a tangible product that people could grasp. Yeah, see, no, I'm not going to do that. That's just...
Yes, but now, can you please extrapolate?
Extrapolate. No, but what's really funny is I didn't used to talk like this on any of the videos. Maybe I'm not myself. Conspiracies. I've been replaced. You are next.
Oh, man.
I have not been replaced.
So who do you think's a lizard person?
Queen of England.
Everybody says it's my queen.
Right there, Queen of England. Half of the news agencies. I heard I think Kamala Harris might actually be a lizard person.
I cannot get down with the lizard people.
No. I will say that she had an interview the other day, and I swear she looked like she was having a fit because the person's interviewing, and I can't remember. It was a CNN interview, and I cannot remember what the woman's name was. Gretchen something or another. It wasn't one of the famous ones. It was just like a standard reporter, but she was asking her like, difficult questions about the ongoing pandemic and things like that. And I watched Kamala Harris answer it in very typical politician rhetoric, right? It's not just Kamala Harris that does it. It's a very common thing. And she was just like, teachers are a priority. And that was the talking point. Clearly, that was the talking point of the interview. Mm-hmm. Teachers are a priority. And she says, yeah. Well, the interviewer's like, well, yeah, no, we understand that, but what are you going to do about blah, blah, blah? She goes, teachers are a priority. And then she just kind of like reiterates it. And the interviewer actually pushed, which doesn't happen often. The interviewer actually pushed and was like, Right. We understand that they should be a priority, but what about this? And she was like,
So people
and like
can't-
she looked like she was having a full on meltdown, like she was twitching. I was like,
so
did she
people
just get
can-
Turing tested? Like,
I don't understand.
is she a robot?
This is the thing, but I mean, and this is the thing now. It's like because everybody thinks everything is something, and everything isn't. So like,
I mean, it's got a really easy explanation. It's just she
like,
didn't expect the questioning.
I've got epilepsy, and when I would have or start to have a seizure, one of my friends. Some of my friends they would know what to do because I give them instruction like give me this, try to talk me out of it, do this, do that, and whatnot. And then afterwards, and then when I was fine, we called it dinosaur dancing, and that was like my little okay. I don't have I'm a dinosaur.
Like, to be clear, I'm not
we
making fun of
dinosaur
anybody
dance. So
with epilepsy
we
or
dinosaur
seizures
dance.
or Tourette's or anything like that, but it was just,
No, I know, but
You
what,
can clearly
what
tell.
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like, why couldn't she be having a fit? She could have been having a fit. Well, she got to be a lizard person. But I've seen videos that make you question things. Like I did see this video of.
it was like the
Nancy-
language was not translating the little
sorry.
thing in her brain. Like, she wasn't understanding.
Like I did see this video of Nancy Pelosi that just made me just kind of like I think I watched it
But
like
she- did
three
she-
times. No,
Because
it's
she's
like
constantly doing that. By the way, like she's
No.
like licking the top lip.
she probably has false teeth.
I would laugh if she were to ever lick her eyeball. Just be like, ow.
No, but in the video, you see like her eyes like switch. Like, I think it may have just been like the camera's pixelates and whatever. But
It
it's
happens.
really like creepy looking. But her eyes just
Well,
switch, and
that-
then they switch back, and it's like,
that's what everybody.
okay,
points
Nancy
to.
girl.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That's the biggest
Like,
thing.
cause ooh, that was loud.
Good grief.
Right? Like, oh, you couldn't hear me. Then all
we
of a
need
sudden,
we
it's
need
like,
a sound
"Alright."
guy that's not Chris.
Well, here I am. Here I am trying to trace you guys up and down the spectrum, and then completely forget mine. But no, that's where you see all the pictures like DiCaprio and
Oh, yeah.
Rihanna and
Basically, all of Hollywood is
anybody who has
supposedly-
like cameras on them. Bieber was the fun one where he was doing something crazy and his eyes went.
yeah.
He did the full flip. You can find those videos like everywhere.
It's the second set of eyelids thing. Just 'cause
I
that's,
mean-
most reptiles have two sets of eyelids.
I think that
or you'll see their eye, like they'll blink and then it'll come back and then you'll see just the slits instead of like the round.
Well, my favorite one is where they look two different directions and then they refocus. Have you seen those? Like someone will be talking, all of a sudden their eye, like one eye will dart, and the other one it just like flicks for a second and then it comes right back. 'Cause
Haven't
that's a
seen
typical reptilian trait. Is they'll be like
Haven't seen
la la
those.
la 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 flick flick, and you're like, wait, what? What were you looking at?
I mean, they really are. Did I kick it again?
yes.
My thanks.
You know, there's an easy fix for that,
Sorry.
Well, when we move,
which we're going to be doing that too. This won't be the entire studio. This is our setup studio for now, which this is just how we're going to pump out content to you. So we are planning on getting a new office, and when we do, it will be set up pretty much all the time exactly how it should be. So that
Yes.
way when we come in, we sit down, we're just ready to rock and roll. The way it's set up currently is we have to adjust things, take things down, move stuff around, reset lights, because we can't leave it all set up all the time because stuff's expensive. Electricity
And
costs
stuff.
money,
And stuff.
believe it or not.
Like, I mean, you have like absolutely no idea.
That's so much stuff.
But like, if you're an influencer,
Becky?
then you know.
Becky, come here.
that
I'm going
it
to snap
is,
my
like-
fingers.
Wait,
Sarah, I swear to God, drink my chocolate milk, I dare you.
no, but the whole thing is to talk like a Kardashian and make
And then put dollar
everyone
signs
feel
after the
like-
actual number.
and just show you all my riches and have lots of babies with black men and create an empire
It's always been a lifelong
And-
dream of mine. Have babies with black men.
and to make Kanye West go bankrupt and then say that he, in fact, was after the Kardashian money.
That was more of a mouthful than Ray J was on in that one tape.
I'm sorry, I just thought of that. Like what her divorce,
Proceedings.
yeah, her statement
Yeah, oh my
of what
God.
she was suing him for.
I'm suing you for damages. What
Like,
damage? Your reputation was fucked when I got here.
She was suing him for avarice.
I seen those videos. She was damaged to begin with.
For real.
Listen, girl, I don't know who got in there before me,
I just
but they made their way.
I don't get it.
Listen, if I reach down there and I can put my face in that general area and I can see the cave paintings, like, we're done.
Sounds like Jumanji.
Did he say cave painting?
The cave paintings. Like, if if I can see
think-
where somebody drew finger paints on the inside
don't-
there, we're done.
I don't think there are any cave paintings in Calabasas.
You just put the $sign after the money, after the number, and just call it a day. We're just done. No.
We're done. I'm
You're
so
divorced.
done. We're
Congratulations.
divorced. I'm divorcing you. I'm divorcing you.
Is it because my poop's not perfect?
No, it's because of avarice.
Mount Everest.
I'm taking North. I'm going home. Anyways, so I I keep flipping this thing back and forth because I'm so lazy. I don't want to sit up. So you guys are just gonna have to deal with this in the video a lot. So, anyways,
Yeah, because it's not like, playing havoc with me either.
no, not at all. So if I keep talking like this, and if I don't actually alter the pitch of my voice at all, it just sounds terrible.
Wow.
Hey, you're the one that gave me a free spin mic, okay? This is your fault. You gave me too much power.
Staple it to your chest.
I'll just sit up. I'm good. Fat staples in my titties. I don't want to have it happen twice.
Not the titties.
Not the titties.
No, not the titties.
Oh, no, that's my line. Little whips and chains and burns and cigars, and that's fine, but no titties. So, I've been seeing these strings. So, speaking of stupid news, I've been seeing this string of people getting banned on Facebook for really silly things. One of my friends got banned for calling his wife a silly goose. I kid you not. He called her a silly goose and caught a 30-day Facebook ban.
How did that even happen? Did somebody report him?
So what has been happening, and you guys can take a look for this before the Facebook overlords and Mark Zuckerberg decides to take all this down. If you go on to, there's two things. Number one, if you go into your settings menu and go to monitored apps, Facebook actually monitors your offline apps.
Oh, absolutely.
Facebook monitors all of your offline activity, and that's how you'll notice that when you're talking about stuff, and this isn't a conspiracy, by the way, this is actual facts, guys. Facebook monitors all that activity, and you wonder why when you're playing a game or when you're looking things up on Google or when you're in YouTube or whatever it is that you're doing, and you look up certain things or you talk about certain things, there are apps that record your voice. And there are keywords that are flagged by the Facebook algorithm, and they have been sending targeted ads to you because of your offline activity. Not while you're on Facebook, while you're offline, which most people already knew that, but you can actually shut it off. You can go into your settings, go to your offline activity, and you can actually turn that completely off. If you have any games that are logged into Facebook, it'll ask you to log back into Facebook when you get in your games, but that's a different thing altogether. But yeah, so you can shut down their overreach a little bit that way. And the second thing that they've been doing is they have conscripted an army of flag bots. I'm just going to call them flag bots because this is the easiest way to do it. Where certain words, phrases, and people have been given a priority rank. If you've ever been banned from Facebook, or if you've ever been in trouble from Facebook, you move up rankings on the priority list, which means that all of your content, everything that you post, every group that you're in, secret or otherwise, is monitored. And if you say something that's wrong, it'll flag you. It's not a person that's reporting you. It's a bot. They're recording your conversations. They're marking them down, and then they flag you. The person that actually is banning you from Facebook isn't a person. It's probably a bot. Now, there are people who are reported, but 9 times out of 10, I found this out. This is actually really funny. A little study they conducted. 9 times out of 10, when people report somebody for something, it doesn't get flagged. They don't flag it at all. They don't even care.
Yeah, no, I know that for a fact because there was several things that popped up like nudity, whatever, and it came back and like, oh, it doesn't
violate standards. And you're like,
And TikTok's like that too. So like it was like, how is this not violating standards? But then like this person makes a video talking about how this, then that gets violated and they get banned.
Let me tell you what happened to me last night.
Tell me.
I have an issue with the sciatic nerve in my leg, and it has absolutely been killing me. So I used that little shiatsu machine that we have, and I was using it. I get it like right on the spot, right? I hit that, and I'm like, oh man, right. So making all these noises. I open up my.
You know, I'm gonna loop that.
No, please don't.
Nope,
please don't.
it's too late. I was just thinking the same thing.
So I go into my phone, and it is suggesting sensual audio novels. And I was like, what?
Fucking of course it is.
Yeah. You cannot make a peep around your mobile. You just cannot.
Facebook is...
You can disable, you can go into your settings and you can disable permissions in all of your apps. But this is a thing in 99% of your apps. They have the permission to spy on you.
So like, for instance, when you download something like, let's use, like photos. And just like for your gallery app, it says, do you have permission to access your audio? What? Yes. Do we have permission to record on your mic? Wait, what? Why do you need permission to record on my... It's...
Right.
I'm literally... I just need you to catalog my pictures. I don't need you to record what I'm saying. The reason that some of these other apps have these different settings on them is because they're partnered with other media companies who mine your data using this microphone. So when the app tells you we don't do anything without your permission, they're not lying to you because you've literally given them the permission to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we would never sell your data, which is also accurate. They don't sell your data. You got to pay attention to the words, man. They don't sell your data. They give it away in exchange for advertisers. Yay. It's called creative loopholing. But anyways, YouTube has the same algorithm, which like people who were saying things like the COVID, they were saying the actual word. So they're getting flagged. They get flagged, they get shadow banned, or they just get their video completely taken down. There was a person, I'm not going to talk about the thing that happened at the very beginning of the year that was a big deal in DC. I'm not going to talk directly about it. But there was a person who dared to suggest that there may have been something more nefarious at work, and they were flagged. And they said, okay, that's fair. They don't want us talking about it. They made another video explaining why they got banned. Flagged again. All they did was explain why not to do it. Then they got flagged, got banned again. So they released a third video. It's just basically an FU love story to YouTube. And that video didn't get taken down.
Like I said,
because it didn't use any flag words.
And that's why I said we have built our own.
Yep, that's why we're moving. Not because we want to talk about stuff like that, but because we want to say fuck and not get in trouble. We want to talk about dirty things and not be flagged for it. We want to show you my nipple without being flagged for it.
If for those who were on the live stream, like before we kicked live, the like 4 or 5 pictures of your belly that came through.
It's my belly. That's half nudity though. It's not the real thing. Subscribe to my OnlyFans to see the rest. All right, so Chris, we're talking about some other news now. Speaking of ghosts, which is my skin.
He's not lying.
I'm not. I need a tan so bad. But this entire summer, I was like, I don't want to go anywhere because of COVID. So,
You just need the vitamin D.
yeah. That's what he needs.
Who said I needed anything?
Your whole attitude problem.
What are you on about? Is that
Look,
is this
you're
still
trying
me
to.
struggling?
No, you're at one. Yep, there it is, right there. It's like 100% what it is.
I was 4 years old.
And you ain't been the same.
Where's the line?
It's not though. I know some dudes that need the vitamin D too, man. At least y'all need to calm down a little bit. It's a magic wand that cures everything that ails you.
Oh my god.
Some dudes act like that. Anyways, speaking of crime, Chris, I believe you had a story for us about crime. Dang it. Why do we derail so
thanks.
bad? Like, I can't even blame Jeff.
It's like, gee, thanks for that. That segue is worse than this. I need that video. Just click.
Speaking of terrible segues, so ghosts and crime, go.
Well, actually, it was kind of going off of the idea of what we talked about, what I talked about last week, and that was
Excuse me.
or not last week, but last show, where the police got involved in something and found out that they had paranormal things, and the police actually in the police report wrote about all of the stuff. Kind of along those lines, in 2017, there was a movie that hit Netflix called Veronica, and it actually documents it was based on a true story, so they mixed things up and made it more whatever. But the actual story was, as from like really like digging into it, the story was more scary than the actual movie that they tried to fictionalize the event. So in Spain in 1992, there was a girl who, with her friends at school, one of her friends' boyfriend got in a motorcycle accident or whatever and died, and they were trying to use a Ouija board to contact him in school. So,
Are you gonna give a disclaimer? Like.
I'm not really sure what you want me to say.
Please don't do this at home. It's stupid. Thank you.
All right, so fine. Okay. The opinions and stories that we're going to talk about could be real. They may be perceived as such, and therefore they are based on true events. Let them serve as an example, a warning, if you will, to not follow in the footsteps of these sometimes brave, most often idiotic people who do these dumb things. You have been warned. Continue.
So they try to go in and they try to contact this friend's boyfriend who passed away. When they went through, they opened the ceremony or the ritual. They did all the stuff that they were supposed to with the seance, which is what they said they were trying to do. And then a teacher caught them, like mid seance Ouija board thing, which immediately put a stop to it. There was no closing the session. There was no anything like that. And the teacher had later on gone in and said that when she like stopped them or whatever, she saw this mist come off the thing, and like the girl who we'll call Veronica because that's the name in the movie. She I cannot pronounce, unfortunately. But she said they saw a mist and something that she inhaled. So for like weeks afterward, she would have like really bad dreams. The girl, not the teacher, she would have really bad dreams. She would have hallucinations. She would have other things like going on in the house. She would have fits where she would just scream and yell, and like somebody was running at her, like coming after her and getting ready to attack her. Nobody really knew what was going on. Nobody could really get anything sorted. 6 months after the Ouija board thing, she died.
Okay. Did it give detail on how?
It did, but it was more along the lines of the medical thing saying it was a medical issue or whatever.
Okay. Again, skeptic. Sorry.
Right. But the police get involved because she's a minor.
Right.
She dies.
That sounds pretty standard.
Whatever. So they were telling her, like, all of this stuff. People were telling her all this stuff was going on. Like, these people were in the house. Like, she was having these fits. She was having this stuff. So, the police go to the house to investigate, like, where she was living and, like, the areas. While they were there, the very first time, 3 cops were there. They hear screaming from a bedroom.
Okay.
One cop immediately, this is where I have no faith in people.
Makes sense.
One cop stands up and completely checks out, walks out of the house. Like, nope, I'm done. Out of here.
Good for him.
No, actually, yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Like, he sounds like the most intelligent one out of the entire
Right,
group.
but here's the thing: is like nobody had investigated. All they heard was screaming from one room.
But
and
the house is supposed to be empty.
No. The family still lives there.
Oh, okay.
So like,
okay,
there are people there. They're talking to the family. They hear screaming from a room with a door that's shut, and one guy just gets up and checks out.
Okay. No. Okay. I got it. Yep.
The other two get up and go open the door, and there's nobody in the room.
Okay.
They are looking around, trying to figure out, like, maybe it was from outside, from that corner of the thing.
Sure.
So they radio the guy. He walks around the house because he's not wanting to come back in the house.
Okay, I don't blame him. So, I mean, still the smartest guy in the bunch.
So he,
all things considered.
he goes, checks around, and they started hearing banging. They started hearing mumbled voices from other rooms. And then when they go in there, there's nobody there. They go up and check, make sure the attic is clear. Make sure that there's.
But this is all documented.
Yes.
Okay.
This is actually into the police report now, that the cops went through and did checked all of the stuff and whatnot.
That sounds like fun.
Then, but they had doors.
So much fun! I want to do it. Let's do it. Come on, T.
They had doors closed on them, like where they were they walk out of a room. They just left, nobody there. The door open, the door quick. Like as they're down the hallway. Like I said, mumbles, and then screaming and whatnot. The family actually left and moved.
Yeah, I don't blame
shortly
them.
after that.
Yeah,
but
I'd probably been out that night, and I would have hired movers to go get my stuff.
But no, they lived there for a while.
Get my stuff.
We're just
I'm
out.
setting that bitch on fire. Like, nothing is going to survive. Nothing's coming with me. I'm disrobing right there on the. There is no
I present
version.
to you exhibit number 2, why she does not need the Thanos guidelines.
There is no version of that story where I survive. Like, there's no version where we make it.
Why?
It's burn it
Why?
all. Staying checking it out.
Why do you die, T?
Because I'm British.
Because she's fucking British.
Because I'm English. I just...
Goddamn United Kingdoms.
I was just... Damn it. Why?
So those police sounded like they were having like a super bad day.
Right.
But Florida man's got you beat. So Florida man.
He got eaten by a gator.
Well, that happens all the time. So I should say Florida couple was pulled over by the police in a town in Florida. It's coast of something in Florida. I don't know. I have to look up the name. But they were pulled over by police who subsequently arrested them after discovering several different types of drugs in a bag that was marked bag of drugs. See, there's dumb, and then there's Florida couple dumb. That's Florida couple dumb. So, I'm not trying to give anybody any type of legal advice whatsoever. But if you are attempting a plausible deniability scenario, you can't do that if you're carrying around a bag of drugs labeled bag of drugs. You can't be like, I didn't know those were in there. Clearly you did, because you marked it bag of drugs. Don't do that. It's bad.
It's like random bag, like, oh, what is this? Flour, sugar? No, that's cocaine.
Nope,
right on the.
That's cocaine. That's it. Yep. Oh, that's cocaine. That doesn't smell anything like flour. That's okay. Listen, America's not the only country full of dumb criminals. I got one for T. A couple of hooligans, and that's right, I'm using proper terminology. You're welcome. A couple of hooligans broke into an elderly couple's home in London, where they accidentally butt dialed 999, which is the emergency line services for the United Kingdom. Police were able to record the entire interaction while they attempted to burgle the home, and were waiting for them when they stepped outside. The police subsequently arrested them and had zero problems proving that they did it. So, sometimes, guys, when you do dumb things, it's best to not have a phone. Sometimes when you do dumb things, it's best just to go do dumb things and, have your buddies with you or whatever, and that's it. Just you and your buddies know that. That's it. The phone doesn't know. The phone didn't take pictures. You didn't butt dial the police. You didn't butt dial your mom while you're picking up a hooker. Nothing crazy.
And sometimes that's just God telling you you're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Like, a lot of times.
That's it.
Yeah, a lot of times.
That's it. Point blank. Period.
I've been in some farcical situations of my own design. Like by accident, I wasn't intending to be in some of the positions that I was in, but my life is a farce, and it is one of the greatest tragic comedies I've ever seen in my life. I could give you examples of some of the stupidest stuff, right? Like, I avoid falling off a ladder to dump a paint can on my head. Like, I mean, I don't get hit by a car, but I break an ankle stepping into a sewer grate, right? Like, my life is a farce. The amount of bullets that I dodged, my guardian angels have done one of two things. Number one, they are constantly drunk, which is what I actually think. I think they're just constantly drunk. And if you had to deal with me on a daily basis, that's probably where you'd be too. So I don't blame them. Or number two, they're just sick of my shit.
It's probably the latter.
It might be both. It could be both. So, yeah. Clearly, Gabriel was done with my shit.
100%.
I haven't seen him again, by the way. That guy has not made an appearance at mine.
He's got other people to go spread the word
I'm
to.
I'm telling you. But
funny,
yeah.
we like one of the other guys here at the station. I was telling this story too. I was like, you got to listen to the show, yada yada yada. He's like, yeah, it's on my saved thing. I haven't gotten around to it, and I kind of told him a little bit of thing. He's like, and he didn't call me. I was like, no, he didn't really call anybody. Like, I happened to be walking in there, like a few days later, and heard the story. But
Look, it's still. I was shooketh. I was shooketh. It was terrible. It was exhilarating and terrible all at the same time. So, yeah. So we have dumb criminals. We got UFOs. We got supernatural occurrences being captured through law enforcement. So I do got a question, though. Like, if a cop legitimately discovered and could prove the existence of a ghost, do you think they would establish a paranormal arm of the police force?
there was actually a show that we had.
And would they call it Ghostbusters?
Like back in
You
the
were
day,
waiting for it. That's all. Go ahead.
So back in the day, there was we had broke that A&E was looking at doing a show called Paranormal Cops, and it was basically in.
That just insinuates that
It's
they're
just-
paranormal robbers.
So it was like literally one of the first things that we got the scoop, and it made that was back when we operated HoosierHeartlandGhostHunters.org.
Oh, okay.
So we got the scoop, and it actually made us like a decent little place. We got a lot of traffic, but so there was going around two Detroit cops who. The ghost hunters style thing, like the two Detroit cops that their day job is dealing with criminals and all the other stuff, and then at night they go hunt ghosts and
So
all
was
this
the show
stuff.
called Ghost Cops?
It was Paranormal Cops.
Paranormal Cops. Okay.
I don't think it had gotten very much farther than.
Like the initial startup phase or whatever, the pilot. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
The pilot phase.
It's
No,
'cause
I do
it's
like.
stupid.
I do like the
Well, I mean, this is what is the amount of stuff that you see on TV anymore? Like, yeah, Ghost Hunters is back.
I mean, at least
or
it's
was-
original. I gotta give it that.
I mean, what's original about it? Like,
Well,
everybody,
I could do like 10 things right now. Like, what-
everybody who is a paranormal investigator has a day job.
Right.
well, except for douchebaggins, whose entire day job is just being a douchebag.
And also just recently broke up with his girlfriend.
It's because he's a douchebag.
But so I mean, this is back in the like Ghost Hunters that just came out. Not too far from the Ghost Hunters. So you like people were looking at ways to spin that and like, okay, well these are plumbers. What about law enforcement? People who deal with this stuff and are, like, I'm not sure I'm going to believe a plumber, over, whatever, but a cop is a good witness. So if a cop comes with
Reliable.
this
That's
stuff,
the word.
Well, I mean, you're looking at like 2000,
Right, calm down,
I
A-Cab.
know. I don't know.
like back in 2010.
They might want to choke the ghost or something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
But I mean, nowadays you look at it and go, you got
here. Stop resisting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write you a ticket for haunting without a license. Did you just boo me, bitch?
But so like nowadays you have like the overabundance of stuff.
No disrespect.
This fucking show is a train wreck. Sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
So
Go ahead, buddy.
I'm sorry.
Listen, nowadays you have the overabundance of shows. You have, the Ghost Hunters relaunch or whatever that only has one of the original Ghost Hunters in it. You have the rest of the Ghost Hunters that went off and did their own thing called Ghost Nation. You have all of this
I have a
glut.
show idea.
You even have Ghost Bros.
Ghost
I
Brothers.
have a.
Like it is
Ghost Brothers. It is
Yes.
so funny.
I have an
like
idea.
if you go by the stereotype, it would normally be when I envision like what was going to happen. They go into a paranormal situation, something happens, and then they just fucking leave. That would be, like, oh nope, no, fuck that. That's white.
Phasers.
I mean, they figure stuff out. I mean,
Right, but you know what I'm saying? Like every comedy thing, they're like, no, that's how white people die. We're gonna just go ahead and leave, and deuce, see ya.
So it's like if Supernatural was real, where they just walk into a place and they're like, all right, looks like some nope, we're out. See ya. See you later. Nope, done. That is a white lady, and she is murdering people in their car. I am not picking her up. We're done.
which are real reactions from my people.
Look, I'm gonna... British, by the way. She's talking about British people.
I'm just.
That's some shit white people do.
Let's just.
I have a show.
Anyway,
I have a show idea. I want to talk about it.
Yeah. What show do you have an idea for?
Bigfoot Cop. It's Bigfoot.
And he's a cop.
He's a cop. Kind of like Harry and the Hendersons, but funny.
Please
No.
enlighten us.
Listen, it's set in Minnesota, okay, where the UFOs are. Because remember, we established the last Sunday Night Madness show that UFOs are responsible for Bigfoot because they dropped him off to go to the
potty.
bathroom.
Okay, stop it. Our phones are listening, and the WB is going to steal our idea.
And if they do, we have documented evidence that we came up with it.
Boom. Because today is February. It's 26th February
February 26, 2021.
2020.
So the aliens forget to pick him up, right? Or he just misses it, kind of like the ET thing, where he doesn't get in the spot in time to phone home, and they fly off, right?
I don't know. Like,
And
would you forget
couple,
your dog?
This couple finds him, and this couple happens to be police officers, and he speaks perfect English. Because of the little thingy in his ear, like the lizard people, and
Did you go Hitchhiker's Guide with like full on babblefish in his ear?
yeah, the babblefish. There we go, kind of like the babblefish. Yeah. I like it. Right, so he speaks perfect English, right? He tells him, he's like, hey, I'm not here to hurt you or whatever, right? So they try to like trim him down and just make him really hairy, like he's got a big beard and stuff, and they try to make him look appear human.
For some reason now I'm like Venture Brothers is stuck in my head.
You act like you've never seen a shaved Bigfoot before. Bigfoot is something I've never seen before. So, anyways, but yeah, so it's something like that. Right, but he's a cop, right? He goes around solving crimes, and specifically paranormal crimes. And people see him in the woods solving these crimes, and they're taking pictures of him and trying to prove the existence of Bigfoot, which is real. But he always comes up to him. He's like, "No, I'm just a police officer.
You just come up with this all by yourself.
I mean, yeah. I'm
Like,
pretty
just
sure.
now.
I'm pretty sure I borrowed from stuff. I don't know.
Just now, though.
Yeah.
$6 Million Man, with the whole episode where he fought Bigfoot.
I never watched $6 Million Man. That's honest truth. I've never watched.
Well, that was where the Venture Brothers was making fun of.
Yeah, I knew that.
Where the $6 Million Man like fell in love with Bigfoot because of that episode of the $6 Million Man where he fought Bigfoot.
That's not the same thing I just said. That's not the same thing I just said.
But he shaves the Bigfoot. That's what they.
No. They don't try to shave him. Like they curl his hair. Like they try to like hide his hair under clothes, and like he's constantly clothed.
I think it'd be
like,
funnier
front,
if you
like his face front,
if like
he's
you just
really
tried
hairy.
to nair Bigfoot.
I mean, that could be an episode where they actually is like, all this hair, I'm constantly hot. And they're like, oh, well, try to take it off. And when they do, like, he has to spend
40-year-old version
he has to
his
spend the
ass.
entire episode, like, dealing with being itchy and burning the entire episode. It would be really funny. And then the series ends when the aliens come back, so yeah, I just give away the ending. But
The series ends and they come back and it looks like a chihuahua.
right.
You're like one of those
Poodle.
naked
No,
sphinx,
a poodle. Looks like a poodle. He's
like a naked sphinx cat, where he's like sitting there, just like all wrinkly and whatnot. I'm like, what did you do?
I blended. No? No, I can't. You're not.
That is not.
I can't tell if you're getting behind the idea or if you're trying to get in front of it.
So not,
It's a runaway train. I wouldn't stand in front of this.
But it's not too far off. It's not
but
too
it's
far
funny
off.
because somebody will make this.
Well, it's not too far off from what they've already made with Resident Alien. I mean, if you watched it,
Yes.
it's not much.
I have never ever seen that
What, it?
Resident Alien.
Oh, Resident Alien.
With Alan Tudyk.
Tajik.
Mila Jovovich.
Two dicks.
Is that Mila Jovovich?
No, the Wash from Firefly.
Yeah.
No,
he's in it.
I'm talking about the female though. Is that Mila or is that the other lady?
I don't think it's
Kate?
Mila Jovovich. You're talking about
No.
Kate Beckinsale, not Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, that lady.
Yeah, Kate
Is her?
Beckinsale.
Okay.
I don't know. Who is it?
For what?
The
Resident Alien.
female lead.
The female lead in the TV show Resident Alien is none of those.
Oh.
Oh, I'm thinking Resident Evil.
Evil.
Yes.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich is Resident Evil.
Mila
I used to have
Jovovich.
I used to have a huge crush on her.
I wanted to be her. I remember her first. You know, I still have the magazine. Her first appearance in 17 magazine. First.
She's gorgeous. I loved her to death.
When she came
She's
out.
amazing.
Oh, she was 12 when she started. I remember because I was just like, oh my God, this girl. I want to look like her. She was gorgeous. She was 12 and I was like 16. And I was like, I want to be her.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice.
Love her. I still love her to this day. But anyway, yeah. So skin.
Mila Jovovich, if you're watching, you got nothing better to do.
So hairless Bigfoots.
How you doing?
Waiting for UFOs to come back and pick them up.
Yes.
Excuse me, UAPs. But what if they don't recognize him? That's why they leave without him. And essentially, that's E.T.
Yeah. That's what I said at the very beginning. It's like E.T. He just doesn't
mean-
get there in time.
Well, no, I mean, like, hairless and everything. Like, that's probably what he looks like.
Underneath all... Do you think
Like
E.T.
shriveled-
never went home?
Like
he just
he
grew
looks
hair?
like a shriveled penis.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, so you're saying he just looks like a shriveled penis?
See, this is a perfect opportunity for me to go, don't be a dick.
I just...
Sorry, like as you grew up, like E.T. just looks more and more like just a ball sack. All the
just
wrinkles.
Looks like an upside down ball sack, yeah.
Only guys thought that, though. I never... This is...
Well, we look at it every day.
Okay.
I try not to.
Don't you listen to the Welcome to the Jungle or whatever, the jungle or the Jumanji movie where you got to aim. Aiming is important.
Oh. I mean...
Like, why are you worried about aiming so much? You know that you gotta like hold on to that. It's
I just... my balls don't come out when I pee.
Like talking about Cheerios and some toilet.
speaking of balls coming out when you pee, somebody who's swinging that big dick energy.
Are we talking about BDE? That's my favorite. I almost got to a fight over that a couple weeks ago.
I love BD.
But like they had a it ended up being like 300 or 400 thread or comment thread on this thing about this guy arguing that all guys should sit down to pee. And that, this is toxic masculinity if you stand up.
Mercy.
And it was just like, yeah, you just swing that, because nobody, it's like, oh, I don't want pee on the splash pee on it. We're like, well, if you lay it in there, then, then you pee. But
Just dip it in the toilet water. Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're standing, if if it's a short barrel, think of it like a shotgun. If it's a short barrel, it's going to spread wider. If you have the longer barrel, you have more range. So if you have a problem getting splash on you,
That just
I
reminds me.
think your barrel length is the issue,
my
not the fact that it's toxic masculinity. And like, yeah, everybody should sit down to pee.
It's just amazing that men still to this day, don't know what to do with their penises.
Oh, no, they know what to do with them.
No,
It's
they
just
do
always
not.
set up.
If you
It's
don't
just
know
always
that you
the
can
wrong-
sit down and have a wee, you don't know.
You just
what
face
to
the
do
back
with
of the toilet. You
Don't know what to do.
face the back of the toilet.
Like,
you pee to the back of the bowl.
You don't.
And then you have a little shelf for your coloring books and stuff.
Wow.
You don't know that's what the whole purpose of the tank was. Look at the original design. No, you think I'm kidding. Look
The
at the original
design.
design. Look at it. That's what it was for.
I don't
Just
wanna-
face the back of
I
that
don't-
tank.
I
It was a
don't-
table. It was
I
a
don't-
table. It wasn't a tank.
I don't want to know.
Yep. It was a table you could put your stuff on. So if you wanted to poop while you wrote books.
We didn't have. We had the box with the little chain.
And I just want to know, so you're telling us to replace all of the urinals with stalls because we can't sit on urinals. That doesn't work that way.
You
Nope,
don't.
nope. You said sit down and pee. So we're gonna replace
Well, no,
all the
no, no.
urinals.
I never said
Then
that.
you got, but the whole point of that is then you have to hover, because then you got to basically kind of half-ass stand to use the restroom because you don't want to do it in public. You know, on a public toilet, you don't want to like.
Yeah, I don't want to sit down on a public toilet every time. I don't understand how you guys.
I don't
want
to sit down on the public
That's what I'm saying.
toilet.
That's-
Like no,
Right, but if
that's
I
what-
handed
that's
you
what
a
we're driving
shiwi,
at.
I mean, I get it and I understand. And you said there were like 400 comments about people arguing over this matter, and
Yes.
it should not even be an argument. And who cares if you sit to have a wee?
No, I don't.
well, no.
Who
That wasn't the point with of people arguing with him that he was bad. It was him arguing with all of the guys that they are wrong and that how can they stand to be covered in pee and all this stuff from the splashback and all this other stuff. Like he was literally.
I think I learned
him
at like
going
12 years old how to avoid splashback.
Yeah, it was him going vegan on everybody and just saying like you're wrong, you're horrible people for standing up to pee. It's toxic masculinity. You should sit down and not get
That's the
urine
part
all
that
over
gets
you.
me. Like, if he wants to make the argument that you should sit down to pee because it's more hygienic or whatever, fine, make that argument. But don't say it's toxic masculinity because I'm in the bathroom with a bunch of dudes. Who am I being masculine over? We're all in there to pee. I'm not asserting dominance over anybody else.
Our world is doomed. That's it. That's
Hey,
it.
listen.
It's over.
Listen, there's a whole website devoted to stupidity. And
Our
stories
website
about
is
stupidity.
not.
No, our website is
I was
absolutely
waiting. I was
devoted to
waiting.
stupidity. GeekPublicRadio.com, where you can literally see stupid speak for several hours at a time. How's everybody doing? They call me stupid. So I'm
But no, that's what I was talking about. Him swinging the big,
the BDE.
the BDE by saying that all guys need. That's why I was like, I think it's more
All
of
right,
the
buddy.
barrel length.
Let's talk about it.
I think it's barrel length at that point. If you're worried about getting urine on your pants or whatever, that's
I can't. I have so much respect for women and the shit that you guys have to put up
that
with.
was a bitch, please.
First of all,
About what?
the amount of things that you guys have to put up with it's a laundry list. I didn't mean to use the word laundry when I was talking about women, but happy accident.
Okay.
The things that you guys have to put up with is incredible, and thankfully, I think biologically you guys are better able to refrain from urination more than some dudes are. Like it's a whole different set of muscles. Like it's a whole thing. It really is. So, you guys have a better opportunity to hold your urine and not have to utilize a public facility, which it's not all the time. I mean, you go to work and stuff like that. There's only so long it can happen. But I work at a truck stop, and I'm telling you right now, I will never sit down to pee in that truck stop ever, never ever in a billion years, never. Not only that, I don't even sit down to poop. I've mastered the art of the half hover, in which I take a pair of gloves, and then I do a circus handspring, and poop straight up and over, and then it goes into the bowl. Is that what you meant by perfect poop? Because that's a perfect poop. That's the way that does that. I sit and I crab walk on the safety rails. And I hover 3.5 feet above the bowl.
A whole new idea for merchandise.
Chris crab walking.
No,
That's the crab walk on the safety rails.
no. Think of a little device that you can throw up there that actually it'd be like a sex swing that you take with you, but you take it out of your bag, you put it up in a thing, and it holds you above the toilet, so you don't actually have to touch the toilet.
I like it. There's a tremendous downside to this. You are up shit creek, quite literally, if number one, that thing decides to break. And number two, if somebody decides, oh, you didn't latch this door well enough. Oh, hello. You might be literally fucked.
Not to mention you need to cancel your plans for the rest of the day because you have to put it up.
Well, no, that'd be like
Give me a minute.
flip it over the thing, it latches on itself. You got little stirrups you stick your legs into. You hold on to the strap.
I'm picturing this in my brain, and it's amazing.
I'm sure it's on Pornhub somewhere.
All right, internet, you know what to do. Make it happen. You can call it the Geek Pooplik Radio swing. Geek Pooplik.
Jeff would have been really proud of this show.
This show has been amazing from start to finish. Number one. Okay. And number two, we got out the topics we said we were going to talk about. I gave some stupid news. Chris gave paranormal news. You talked about UFOs. The rest of this show, complete dumpster fire. I will describe most aptly, and this is what I want you to clip right here, Chris. Okay. This what I'm about to do. You take this, you clip it, and this is what this will be. This show is most accurately described in a very simple way. It is a train wreck that's on fire, hurtling at high speeds into a dumpster that's also on fire. That dumpster also houses a bad sandwich smell, and somewhere, rank hot garbage fills the air around you. That is this show. But, as with any good dumpster fire, you can keep warm and still find a good meal.
Oh my God.
You're welcome, Internet.
I think on that note.
This isn't GPR. Wait, I mean, technically it is. That's not what I meant. This is my shit. Well, that's not true either. T, would you like to wrap it up? We're going to let T do it tonight. Women's empowerment, because I'm toxic, masculine, and stuff. Hurry up!
Fuck bitches, get money. Doses. That's all I got.
Way to bring us home, T. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Not because Chris said so, but because I want to. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. Again, use that code BETA1 to make sure that you get your month free to the new GPR setup. That way you don't miss any of the action. We're going to be bringing you guys live videos from the Geek Public Radio side of things, as well as Sunday Night Madness. T and I are going to start working on our secondary show, which we'll be doing react videos and things like that. Probably be called Bourbon and Babble. I think that's the one we decided on, but we might change the name. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But as always, we're really slow to get around to stuff. But if you guys have stuck around this far, we thank you. We appreciate your patronage. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show and helping us get away with doing the things that we love to do. As always, stay crazy, and we'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye.